Everybody. Yeah, welcome to the Get to Know a Caregiver series. And today we have Dr. Joe LaSala from our Orange office. Joe, could you introduce yourself and your role?
Yes, hi, I'm Joe LaSala, and I'm a medical oncologist. I've been in Connecticut for over 20 years, and this was my first job here in Connecticut as a medical oncologist at Medical Oncology and Hematology, which was a private practice, and joined Yale about 9 years ago, almost 9 years ago.
Wow. Joe, where are you from originally? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Whitestone, Queens, very close to the Whitestone Bridge. My parents were both first generation American and school teachers, and so I went to public school through elementary school, junior high, high school in New York City and in Queens. And then I went to St. John's University, also in Queens, and it was a commuter college, so I was home then too. And then I went on to Johns Hopkins University for medical school.
Wow.
And so I was in Maryland for 4 years, which I really enjoyed, and then did my internship and residency at Cornell in Manhattan, which is on the Upper East Side. It was New York Hospital Cornell Medical Center. And so I lived in Manhattan, which was really a different experience and very exciting and really great when you're a young person. And when I was an intern, I met my husband and got married at the end of my residency. And during that time, had conversations with the chairman of hematology oncology. And at my program, the chief of medicine, the chief medical resident were all hematologists, oncologists. And so there was a lot of flavor of that throughout our entire residency, and it always seemed really great and wonderful. And so I found myself one day talking about it with the chief of oncology and the next minute accepting a job as a fellow.
Wow.
That time there wasn't a match. It was really just kind of applying, and they really encouraged me to stay, and so I stayed on to do my fellowship there. I realized, thinking about it, my interest in hematology and oncology went back really a long time ago. When I was in 8th grade, I did a science fair project that had to do with blood clotting. And then fast forward to medical school, that first summer after your first year of medical school is really the only summer you have off, but nobody was really off. Everybody looked for really, kind of resume building things to do.
Yeah.
Connections, and my parents didn't have any connections, but I ended up working as a volunteer at a local hospital, and they just happened to put me with a hematologist oncologist.
Wow.
Which was really amazing. And it was actually Dr. Rye from Rye Staging from CLL and Mark Citron, who is very instrumental.
Oh my gosh. Those are really big names.
They are. And so I was just really lucky. And he had a physician assistant who I spent the whole summer with as well. And she, took me in every room with her and really, helped me understand hematology and oncology and get to really see, cancer patients up close, and it wasn't scary, and she was very talented. So, it was just a really very positive experience. So then, throughout that internship and residency with the, really all the leadership being focused on that being the most important discipline in medicine.
Which it is.
It was no surprise then, so that I then stayed at Cornell to do my fellowship there and stayed for 3 years. And my husband was from Connecticut, and one of my very good friends is a gastroenterologist, and she was here first. Their fellowship ends sooner, so she was here a year ahead of me in Connecticut and knew that group and knew the other doctors, and sort of encouraged me to apply for that job. And so that was my first job and real job, right? After you've been a student and a trainee for so long.
Yeah.
Just real job. And it was really a great, really the best kind of position for somebody coming out of training, because I had all these great partners with a lot of expertise. And it was not just learning the medical part of it, because you learn all of that,
Yeah.
school and in training, but really just how to take care of patients in a practical way and in a way that is caring and compassionate. And so I was just very fortunate, and they were all very hardworking. And so it just was, just reinforced and validated that work ethic, and everybody was really like-minded, and it was really, really a great experience. And then interestingly, because it was a private practice and I became a partner, it was a little bit of business learning as well, which is just a different part of your brain and a different understanding how to be a business owner, and kind of what that means,
Yeah.
So
A skill set most of us never get because we haven't owned our own business.
Right. So it was just something just really different. So like, oh, I'm a small business owner too, and so you kind of understand a lot of different pieces of it, and also how much goes into that and how hard that is, and that, it gives you the opportunity to work all the time. There's really no off when you're a business owner. So, which is fine.
Which probably helps you relate to your patients who also own their own businesses, and understanding their need for your flexibility and their work life.
And that if you're not working, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
You're out sick, you're not working, and that's really hard to do, And so, so that was really great experience. And then, during that time, I had both my children. And
how old are they now?
So they're 20 and 16, going to be 21 and 17 this fall, which is just sort of strange, because then they're not little kids anymore and they're all grown up. So, but I did have both of them while I was working. And so it was really the best job for that as well, because my partners were all supportive, and I really was able to control my day and control my schedule enough that I really was able to do it all, not, maybe I wasn't there for 100% of every event, but I really, really was there I really don't feel like I missed anything. And so I was really able to be there for my kids. And I do remember my son was in kindergarten, and they had their Thanksgiving parade or whatever, right at 10 a.m., which was probably the worst time possible, because you can't do it really before.
Right, in a busy time of year and a busy week.
All morning, out of the office. But I was able to get there, and the teacher talked to the parents beforehand and said, I made sure that the kids knew that it was difficult for parents to get here, and that, if they weren't here, it's not because they didn't want to be, but that all of them tried, and that they wouldn't want to disappoint you, but that they really, did their best. And one of the kids said, my mom never lets me down. It turns out it was my kid. and it always makes me well up when he said that, because you always feel as a mom, am I there enough? Am I doing enough when you're a working mom? And so I was grateful for the teacher for telling the story and then letting me know it was my kid. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So,
it speaks to your ability to be a superwoman, and to juggle all of that at the same time is really inspiring. As a young mom, a mom of young children now, I learned from you that you have to make time to be present.
Right. And I sometimes I go in the office and say, okay, guys, it's a cape and tights day, meaning be a superhero with a cape and tights to get through it, because otherwise it's not going to work today.
Yeah.
So I have some days I say are POTUS days, like President of the United States, where you're scheduled every second, or a cape and tights day. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it today.
Yeah. Never do you have a bonbon day where you sit around and just, chat and eat.
Yeah, no bonbon days yet, but I would like one of those.
We should build those in.
That's right.